Hey folks, Lad here from HeavyPlay.net, and today I'm bringing you the next episode. It's Stellaris Utopia Beginner's Survival Guide show part 6. It's going to be everything about factions and strategic resources. So if you open up this part here, you will have, or simply hit F7, you will open up the factions within your empire or federation or whatever kind of governmental form you have. Factions rise within your domain due to different circumstances. Usually, the government's ethics are not so attractive, and you suddenly see a rise of a specific faction that wants to be different than everything else. I would say that democratic species, the democratic government forms, have much more factions than the imperial or some, everybody else who is basically keen on killing every alien that's in their path. So, without further ado, let me show you several of these factions. Let's go with this. This is a democratic organization by scientist Burberan. This is their name and the type. This is the happiness. 52%. They are not really happy about me. If you hover over it, you see it, happiness and base is 50%, anti-autocratic plus 5%, free movement minus 10%. They are not really keen on free movement. Reproductive freedoms, good, 2%, anti-caste plus 5%. Great. This is the size. This is the most popular, the greatest possible faction in my federation at the moment. And this is the amount of their attraction. So basically they will be attracting new pardon me, new members easier than these guys here. And these are their issues. So and finally, how much influence we get from them. Your goal is to have these top dogs liking you as much as possible. So just a second. If you hit this space, this specific faction, it will show you here the issues, and they really dislike that people have free movement. That's minus 10%. So what do we do? If you check other factions and find any of them disliking free movement, you can achieve a lot by simply, working to fix that issue. But there is nothing here. They're the only ones. I would really like to get their happiness up. So what can I do to manage? I can manage faction, and I can say following. I can embrace the policies and values of the democratic organization, bringing them into our government. This will permanently change our governing ethics and displease all other factions in our empire. But I need specific treats and tributes as well as influence, which I do not have. It likes 250, I don't have that. And I can suppress this faction, which will cost me the monthly influence -1, but they will have a harder time attracting new people to their cause and so on and so forth. So basically what you want to have is have these factions like you as much as possible. You don't want to have this faction really liking you, and you don't even want to suppress it. You can just focus on these that like you a lot, or these in the midway, in the halfway there, halfway here. So but basically the greater size of this population, the better it is. So finally, by going through these issues, you can see here all the features. So if you hover over materials, due to its current attraction value, we expect around 7% of our pops to embrace this ethic. Alright, so you can see which ethics are going to be really attractive to your people. So this helps a little bit, but usually those factions can be violent, can demand secession, independency, more autonomy, and so on and so forth. So you have to really figure out what you're going to do with them. This Human Future Front They're really nasty. They don't like anything I do. They hate the fact that the current president is an alien, invasive Xeno studies, Xenos disenfranchised, no immigration. This is the stuff they're going for. They're really hardcore right, so to speak. They don't like strangers. They won't have human future front. They want to have Earth for humans only. So that's okay, but you can basically, if you say, I want to change the way I'm doing things, you can even embrace this faction, which I would not advise. You know, in the majority there's always the win, but it's possible if you want to do so. So basically what you want to do is to try to attract as many of these factions to support you, and if you manage to do so, you will get influence from all these factions. Currently I'm getting influence only from these two factions. It amounts to 1 point per month. Yeah, not an ideal situation, but let's say Silver Guard. What we got? Aggressive diplomacy. Failing to allow for unrestricted warfare will displease the Silver Guard. And if I go now, I could change the policy. Nope, wrong one. Policies and edicts. And I could go for war philosophy and switch to unrestricted wars. Yes. Let me hit space. Oh. What happened? Following a long period of growing support for the Society Coalition, the Nuvian Enlightened Kingdom has finally embraced the faction, adopting their core values and policies. As a result of bringing this faction to the government, they have... Alright. Good. We don't care. Let me see back to factions. See what happened with the Silver Guard. They no longer find this a huge issue. I just forgot to check what exactly the happiness was before, but they don't have... see, I think that this standing will improve with time, but we'll see. I have to check that out. But basically, if you do things that will please a specific faction, their opinion will go up. However, the opinions from others may go down. Look at this. I have Xeno Awareness Initiative, who have now given me 1.28 because they're really happy about my recent decision, and their support went to 61%. If I'm not mistaken, I used to have, like a moment ago, was on 0.6 and 0.4, and now I have more influence. That's awesome. So if you want to have a lot of influence in a democratic society, you have to play the factions, but however, you can always realize that a specific action might displease other factions, so have that in mind. So, having told you something about factions, let me switch quickly to the strategic resources. Basically, what we have here is all across the galaxy there are specific resources, such as this one. This is Zro, alright. And we got neutronium ore. Essentially, or dark matter. This is awesome. Every resource that you have access to will give you a specific boost in a specific way. For example, dark matter will give you 20% to physics research, so it means that you'll get faster physics research. If you have more than just one, and you can see all your strategic resources here, 16 out of 21, that means basically that we have 1 terraforming gases, 4 Engus vapor, 3 neutronium ore, and so on and so forth. If I have more, and if you have more than one single resource, strategic resource, you can trade it to others. Now here's a question. Do you really want to trade with your enemies or somebody who could be a potential enemy and give them, for example, Engus vapor? It says habitability is plus 5%. Well, that might not really endanger you, but you don't want to give them bonuses that will affect their fleets and so on. But as long as you have these strategic resources, they will give you a specific boost to everything. For example, dark matter plus 20% research, we talk about that. Also Angus vapor, etheric gas gives you 20% to shield hit points. That's awesome. So if you don't have that, find species that do and talk to them. Let's see, communicate with these guys, offer trade deal. Oh, they don't have any specific, no specific strategic resources that I want. So we can look for others. Let's see if these guys have anything. Offer trade deal. Nope. Basically, it's probably because of the fact that I have virtually every possible strategic resource that you can have. These resources appear on your map. For example, you can have this system and have no idea you have satramine gas that gives you plus 10% attraction to governing ethics. But when you research that specific part, you will suddenly find them, pop him up in the map and say, oh great, I have that thingy and now I'm happy, now I get the boost for that specific area through that strategic resource. So yeah, basically you can always trade surplus with other species. Be careful who are you giving what, and take a look out if you see a system. For example, I've seen this one. This is an awesome system with 2 strategic resources, and you just need to have them. And also, if you check out other systems, you can see what kind of resources they have, so you can determine your targets and what would be a best place to attack. So some systems will have 1 or 2, others, some up and even 3 specific strategic resources. Those are really, really valuable, so you want to have them in your control. So that would be the part about strategic resources and factions. And stay tuned, next time I'll be talking about species and leaders. Thank you for your attention and have a great day. Bye bye.